Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the idea and really going through some rumors surrounding Zion Williamson, because there's been a couple of Twitter incidents that have gone down surrounding Williamson over the past couple of weeks, and the rumors are really starting to heat up, and there's reports from Mark Stein that we're going to get to in a second. Then Bleacher Report listed the New York Knicks as one of the top three Williamson destinations in the NBA. Of course they did. It's the New York Knicks. So we're going to break that all down in today's show. But first, I wanted to take a look at this tweet from NBA Trade Report on Twitter. Not sure how credible they are. This tweet did get over 1,500 retweets, almost 4,000 likes, and 4.2 million views. And they tweeted out and said, hashtag sources, Zion Williamson and his camp reportedly prefer a change of scenery, specifically in New York. Pelicans will field trade calls through the NBA draft, which is Thursday, June 22nd. So we had this come down a couple of days ago, and that kind of really started a lot of people wondering and being curious if the Pelicans were really going to trade Zion Williamson. And then Mark Stein on his Substack said this. He said, I heard this week from one well-placed observer who is convinced that the Pelicans would indeed consider dealing Williamson away if it meant they could draft Scoot Henderson, pointing to a rising level within the organization regarding Williamson's ongoing availability, issues, and overall approach. So we obviously know, at least a little bit per Mark Stein, that the Pelicans would at least entertain the idea of listening to trade packages. I mean, if they're willing to trade up in the draft and get a top 3 pick for Zion, maybe the New York Knicks could incentivize them. But the question is, would the New York Knicks be interested in a Zion Williamson trade? I believe they would be, and I believe there's 3 reasons as to why. One, whether you want to call Zion Williamson a disgruntled star. I mean, the guy sat out 50 games this year due to a hamstring injury, not a hamstring tear. So a muscle strain is pretty much why he sat out. Maybe you can connect the dots. His stock is down, and he is a star. Whatever you want to say about him being overweight, lazy, addicted to porn stars, Coke cans in the bathroom, whatever it is, you cannot deny that when Zion Williamson is on the basketball court, he's one of the best in the NBA. And his stock is down right now. The fact that he's been injured so much, you could probably get him on a discount. But really, the main selling point as to why I think the Knicks are interested, he is a CAA client. And as you know, if you are repped by CAA, you are most likely going to be a New York Knick, considering CAA and Leon Rose and their connection. So I want to ask you this question before we get rolling in today's show any further. Should the Knicks trade for Zion Williamson? I was talking with producer Seeps earlier today, and it's a polarizing topic. So I want you guys to decide. Should they do it? Type T for trade, type P for pass. Coming up next, we're going to break down an idea that Bleacher Report put out on the internet that said the Knicks could potentially trade Julius Randle for Zion Williamson, but also a pick and a young player is going to be involved in that deal. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that around the corner, but first, if you love the New York Knicks, we're the channel for you. Make sure you guys are subscribed to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We're going to be live for all 58 picks of the NBA draft on Thursday of this week. We're going to be live for NBA free agency. We are your one-stop shop for everything New York Knicks this summer. So hit that sub button and let's frickin' ride. This is what Bleacher Report had to say about the idea of trading Randle for Williamson. They went on to say the Knicks are desperate for a superstar and have a boatload of future first-round picks at their disposal, as well as having an all-star forward in Julius Randle, who has fallen out of favor with fans. Randle and Williamson works as a one-for-one match in terms of salary, and the Knicks could throw in a couple of future first-round picks without emptying their assets. That would give them the flexibility to turn around and make a second trade to revamp the roster. And I didn't really, digest much of what I read right there. The only thing I really heard was Julius Randle trade. And that's where you had me. You had me where you brought up the idea of trading Julius Randle. And I don't just want to hit a man while he's down. Julius has been good for the Knicks. I mean, think about it, guys. When the Knicks signed him in NBA free agency, the first year, he was playing behind Marcus Morris. Then he turned into a top 10 MVP candidate, second team All-NBA. 2021, 2022, I don't know what the hell happened. Weird year for Randle. Agreed. 2023, he was great in the regular season, an all-star for the second time wearing the Knicks orange and blue, second time making an All-NBA team. But the facts are the facts. In the playoffs, he has not been good. Playoff Randle makes me nervous. You can go back to that Atlanta Hawks series. It did not go well. You can go to the Cleveland Cavaliers series and the Miami Heat series. Not nearly as disastrous as that Atlanta Hawks series, but it didn't live up to the bill, and that's why the New York Knicks were not playing in the Eastern Conference Championship. I don't think that Randle is the guy that you can build around as a first or second option. But I also don't know if Zion Williamson is worth it. Do the Knicks need to trade a guy in Julius Randle who's been really reliable in the regular season? He's been available in the regular season. He's been productive in the regular season. Is it worth trading Randle, a young piece, and maybe a pick or two for Zion Williamson, who has missed 48 games in 2019, 11 games in 2020. He didn't play a single game in 2021, and he missed 53 games in 2022, which totals 194 missed games in his NBA career over like 300 plus games that he could have played in. So he's missed more games than he could have played in. 29 games this past year. Didn't play because of a foot injury in 2021. In 2020, 61 games played. 2019, 24 games played. But you can't deny, when the dude's on the court, when he's wearing that New Orleans Pelicans jersey with the Zatarain sponsor, he's a baller. 26 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4+ assists, and the efficiency is incredible. He's one of the most efficient scorers in the NBA inside the paint. 26 and 7 doesn't grow on trees, and that's the same goes with Randle. 25 and 10 doesn't grow on trees. But 2020, 2021, Zion Williamson was special. 27 points per game, 7.2 rebounds. Even when Williamson was healthy for the 2022 campaign, before he got hurt, as well as Brandon Ingram, important to bring up, the Pelicans were the number 1 team in the Western Conference. If Zion Williamson is able to reach his peak, I truly believe he can be maybe a second option on a championship contender. But no doubt it's risky. Look, you're potentially making a move for a guy that hasn't shown that he loves basketball, doesn't love being a professional basketball player, doesn't want to do what it takes to be a professional basketball player. Multiple times he's been out of shape. Multiple times he's been injured. Sounds like he has childish ways inside the walls inside the New Orleans Pelicans building. And the latest stuff with Mariah Mills. We don't need to dive into that. But while it is risky, I'm not scared. And that's kind of a mantra we have here at Chat Sports. Scared money, don't make money. And if the New York Knicks continue to be scared to make the move, be scared to push the chips into the table and go all in, you're never going to reap those rewards. But is Zion Williamson the guy that you want to go all in for? We have a trade idea surrounding Williamson that we're going to break down on today's show. And I think you guys may feel some type of way about it. We'll break that down around the corner. But first, we got a deal for all the real ones out there. Only subscribers are going to get this deal. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit that big red button. And once you do, go to chatsports.com/Knicks combo and get 2 t-shirts for $29.99. Remember, you got to be a subscriber to get the deal. Then go right here, chatsports.com/Knicks combo. 2 t-shirts, $29.99. You're not going to beat it. All righty. Here is my trade offer for Zion Williamson. I would at least submit this offer, but I wouldn't go any further. I'll give you Julius Randle. I'll give you 1 young good player in Emmanuel Quickly, and I will give you 1 unprotected first-round pick in 2025. The Knicks would still have plenty of assets, like Bleacher Report talked about, that they could still make another trade. You would have a big 3, or really a big 2 in Jalen Brunson and Zion Williamson. You still have Mitchell Robinson, R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, who I think Obi Toppin actually, if the Knicks traded for Zion Williamson, would get more burn and be able to actually develop into the player that a lot of you guys think he could be. I think you could run a lineup with Williamson at the 5, Obi at the 4, with Brunson and Josh Hart and either Quentin Grimes or R.J. Barrett on the 4. Also, you get the Dookies back together, R.J. and Zion. All that doesn't matter unless you do the deal. Would you do it? Would you make this trade? Do you want Zion in NYC? And are you willing to give up Randle Quickly and 1 unprotected first-round pick? Type A for accept, type D for decline. I would make this deal. I would submit this offer, and if the Pelicans and they offered me this deal, I would do it. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that's enough for Zion Williamson. I believe the Pelicans are still going to want more if they do decide to move on from the former number 1 pick in the NBA draft. I think they'd want at least one more unprotected pick, and maybe they would even want Quentin Grimes. And if that's the case, I would not do it. This is the furthest I would go in my offers and in my pursuits of Zion Williamson. Maybe you have a trade package that you think that would be good enough. Comment that down below. And as always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you guys for tuning into Knicks Now. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. Let's go Knicks.